USA Credit Union, el banco de la comunidad.
No vamos a parar.
Hola, soy tu abogado de inmigración, Laura de Paz Cabrera. Como puertorriqueña y latina, vivo apasionada por ayudar a todos los inmigrantes a cumplir sus sueños y metas migratorias en este gran país. Contácteme al 352-378-3634 para que juntos sigamos adelante inmigrante.
Metiendo con todo, con Helio Piedra junto a la bandida, no hay liga, esto es un vacilón. En H2 el 97.3 la fiesta se formó. La música con variedad te tocamos desde salsa hasta reggaetón. Un vacilón, este es el show de la mañana en el tapón. Son un bombón, tírame remix, let's go.
Ya no tienes excusa, pero si le ponen la canción, le da una depresión.
Si te invito a una copa y me acerco a tu boca,
Radio
será puro chantaje, puro chantaje.
Esto es el show de la mañana, el show, esto es el show de la mañana, el show, esto es el show de la mañana, el show, esto es el show de la mañana, el show.
Este es el show de la mañana con Helio Piedra y la bandida. Sí.
Este es el show de la mañana, el show.
Señoras y señores, we are back. Déjame decirle que estamos de regreso con el Morning Show, el show de la mañana aquí en Tu Fiesta Radio, celebrando nuestra música, donde siempre, pero siempre te traemos la mejor energía para comenzar tu día acompañada de noticias, concursos, temas de farándula y sobre todo la mejor y más variada música. Ahora mismo estamos broadcasting live desde Gainesville, Florida. Estamos en la 97.3 HD2. Estamos en Tu Fiesta Radio app, en tu iPhone, en tu Android, en Tuning Radio, Radio Garden, Streama, Stera, Alexa, Google, tufiestaradio.com. Estamos en todas partes. We're all over the place. We are back to English once again because let me tell you, we have special guests. This is special. And right now we are going to introduce, we have for the first time ever at the morning show, el show de la mañana, señoras y señores. This is like an introduction, like in the Olympic Games, you know. Yeah, remember, you know, the arena, everybody expecting you, you know.
I got the torch. I'm carrying it in. I'm running.
That's awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome for the first time ever from the Ravel Realty Group, Sisi and Susan.
Welcome, ladies. Thank you for having us. We're really excited to be here.
Absolutely. What an honor. We're going to be talking right now in just a second. We're going to talk about the real estate market, rentals versus, you know, real estate assets and a lot of stuff. But how you guys doing this morning?
I'm doing great. I'm glad to be here with you guys.
Awesome. Sisi, ¿cómo estás?
Todo bien, gracias a Dios.
Qué maravilla. Sisi, she comes representing, you know, the Latino blood in Ravel Realty Group.
Latino power.
Latino power, me encanta.
I was a little bit confused. I thought you were the one who speaks Spanish.
Oh,
I'm lucky enough to have the beautiful Spanish, but I do not have any of the ability to speak it.
That's funny. You know, one thing that I love about Susan, she's always on fire. She's always ready for the laugh and the fun times, you know.
Enjoy life.
Absolutely. As all of you guys at Ravel Realty Group. Mira, ahí tienes a Sisi con el abrigo tan bonito de Ravel Realty Group. Eso, qué maravilla. Bueno, gracias por venir, de verdad, gracias por estar aquí. Thank you so much for coming, for being here, for updating us about what is going on within our county, within our cities and our surrounding areas compared to other areas that actually Susan and I, we were just talking before we were coming back. But let's talk about Susan. How long you been with the company?
I have been with Ravel for 7 years. So I've loved every minute of it. I transferred into this position, and I'm telling you, selling real estate is one of the best things in life. I tell people I love to work with first-time home buyers because, like you've been to hundreds of weddings. You get to see that very first kiss when they get married.
Yes.
I get to see the very first kiss when they fall in love. They walk in that house and they fall in love with the house, and you're like, oh, I saw the first love. You just get to see the wedding.
That's a wonderful way to see it. I've never seen
what a beautiful
that way.
analogy, you know, the very first kiss.
Yeah.
I love it. ¿Y qué tiempo has estado con la compañía, Sisi?
Elio, yo llevo 2 años y medio con Rebel.
Wow.
Me ha encantado completamente. Yo siempre quería estar en bienes raíces y cuando conocí a Kristen Rebel y empecé a tener esa conexión con ella, dije, yo no me voy a otro lugar.
Qué maravilla. Entonces la experiencia, ¿te ha gustado la experiencia, el equipo, todo?
Sí, es como una familia. Entonces, a pesar de tienen bastante entrenamiento, si necesito hablar con Kristen o cualquier otra persona, los puedo contactar y es una familia definitivamente.
Increíble.
¿Tú eras real estate agent before being with them?
No, yo empecé con ellos.
Okay. ¿Y la experiencia?
La experiencia ha sido fenomenal. Yo contacté otras agencias antes de meterme en bienes raíces y la verdad que no me dieron el tiempo. Como que están muy ocupados, pero Kristen se enfocó en decir, bueno, déjame ayudarte y hacerte parte de la familia. Y desde que antes que cogí mi licencia, yo ya era parte de la familia de Rebel.
Wow, qué bien, como de guiarte y orientarte en el proceso, que es tan importante, especialmente cuando uno va iniciando pues en ese ámbito.
Super. And actually, we're talking about the experience, and that actually is bringing me to this question. Even before we talk about the market, do you need any type of experience to be able to become a real estate agent with Rebel Realty Group?
Yeah, you have to be very ethical, and you have to know how to do the right thing. Don't worry about the money. Do the right thing, and just learn to talk to people. If you don't like speaking to people, you don't like meeting new people, real estate is not your job. If you love to go out there and have a good time, this is a great job for anybody.
Awesome. That is great. So now let's touch base about the market. How is the real estate market that, you know, is being ups and down and it's been changing constantly every few months? How is right now the real estate market?
Here in Gainesville, the real estate market is doing really well. What I call this market now is not, it's stabilized. It's stabilizing. So before we had a very high demand and there was hundreds of people trying to get one house. So it was very difficult to get that house. And now we're starting to get our inventory back. We have about 2.5 months of inventory on the market. So we're in a stable market is what I would say we have.
Sí, let's say, si quieres traducir lo que estábamos hablando con Susan.
Sí, entonces la pregunta fue cómo está el mercado ahora en Gainesville. El mercado de bienes raíces es algo bien localizado, es diferente. Aquí en Alachua County ahora se está normalizando. Entonces, hace 6 meses o 1 año o durante COVID, el mercado se fue hacia arriba, ¿verdad? Muy rápido y había muchísima gente tratando de comprar la misma propiedad. Ahora todavía hay bastante competencia, pero no es tan fuerte como era antes. Entonces ahora se está normalizando.
Okay.
Increíble. And you know, I always had my question about when you establish like when you are competing with someone that is trying to put more money into the same property, how a real estate agent can manage that? How difficult? How is the communication, you know, between both parties? How that would work?
Well, that's probably the most important thing when you hire an agent is make sure you have somebody with some great negotiation skills and great communication skills. Because a lot of times, buyers will not pick the best deal. They'll pick the best negotiation. It's not just about price. There's other terms in that contract. Like, hey, as a buyer, when do you want to leave your house? Do you want it sold immediately? Or do you have kids that are here in school and you don't want to sell it till June? You know, so you have to work on terms and things like that. And I think that is also a really good thing to have.
Sí, entonces la pregunta fue que ¿qué es lo que uno tiene que hacer para ganar una oferta? Entonces hay diferentes factores. El precio no siempre es el factor más importante. Puede ser cuando se quiere mudar. Por ejemplo, si la persona que está vendiendo necesita 3 meses, uno dice, bueno, estoy flexible. Eso es algo que te puede ayudar a ganar la oferta. Otras cosas también diferentes, si vas a poner más dinero de depósito, otras cositas. Entonces, cuando uno tiene un agente, él te puede asesorar, o ella te puede asesorar en los términos perfectos para que tu oferta se gane.
And I feel like also as a real estate agent, you have the duty to communicate to your seller and to your vendor, right? All the proposals that you got, all the how do you call
offers?
The offers that you receive, and they are the ones that decide, right? And as you mentioned, sometimes not just about the money, but about the timing. It's more convenient for me to leave my house by this time, so I'll take this offer just because of that. Oh, hey, let me just go because of the money. I'll take the higher offer, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, and I remember a few months ago, and only few, we used to have these people coming from New York and all the big cities with cash, like
Yeah,
cash
yes.
money ready to put down. And I actually had 3 offers that I was, kind of like debating with Ravel Realty Group about coming to the beach, and people were like ready to buy, ready
Yeah.
to go, and to put more money, either more money on top of the normal offer was, So is that still happening these days?
No, not as much. It's no longer really a seller's market. It is not a buyer's market either. So it's a very stable market where both people have I don't even know the word. Both people have equal shares in selling these homes. So the buyers are starting to add concessions where they were not when they were paying $30,000 over appraised value. Now buyers are saying, hey, I'll help buy down your points on your interest rate, or I'll give you money towards your closing costs. I'll also replace that water heater that's 25 years old. 2 years ago, they were not doing that. You were paying well over. Yes, you were getting a lower interest rate, but you were still walking into that house with zero equity. And now you're walking into a house and you actually have equity in that house already.
Oh, wow.
And I feel like also the relocation process, which happened when people coming from New York, from California, used to move to Florida, it was like a phase, right, where everyone was trying to relocate and just come here with a lot of money and buy and be the first one.
You would
right
want to live in Florida, right?
Exactly, that's
Best
true.
state ever.
Right now, I feel like it's more steady. It's kind of like keeping it there, and they're adding different things when it comes to closing.
Right. And Cece, we were just talking today that Florida is still the number one state that people are moving to.
Definitely, I believe it.
That is awesome.
Bueno, entonces si la pregunta fue que hace un año, 6 meses, uno tenía que poner muchísimo dinero más de lo que estaban preguntando por una casa. Ahora como el mercado tiene un correction, se está corrigiendo, no hay tanta competencia. Ahora eso depende en la propiedad, pues claro, y como el precio de la propiedad. Entonces a veces si una propiedad se pone a un precio un poco más bajo que el mercado, entonces ya la gente puede hacer como una subasta.
Claro.
Pero ahora se está normalizando, entonces no es necesariamente un mercado de vendedor o de comprador, sino está como en el medio, pero todo eso depende en la propiedad.
Awesome. I never asked this question to a real estate agent. And it is, what is the...
You may get the honest answer. You might want to mute me.
Well, it's just because in my mind, like, what is the toughest client for a real estate agent?
Ooh. The toughest is probably the one that doesn't know what they want. We have a lot of people that'll come in and they have very specific things like, I want a house that has a split floor plan, but open floor plan, and it is a 1 story, and it has, half an acre of land. And then, you start looking outside the box and you realize that's not really what they wanted. And then you'll find them something else. And you're like, what about this? And they're like, oh, I never even thought of this. Yes, this is what I want. So I'd say that the toughest one is the people that won't look outside of what they think they want.
And very interesting, because my follow-up question is, between men and women, we were, Cis and I, talking about this. Between men and women, who is the most undecisive client? Like, is a woman or men's?
I actually think that's age that will depict it, because an older man is easier than an older woman, because an older woman will not. She's like, this is what I want, and she's going to stick to it. And an older man will be like, oh, okay, I see where you're going. Oh,
More
look at
flexible.
this. A little bit more flexible. A younger man will not give. No, he has his strict things, and that's what he wants. So I would say it's age.
Oh, really? Wow.
Is that how you looked at it?
Yeah, I would say age has a lot to do with it. In my personal experience, it's been a lot of the women are handling, or they're calling the shots, because it doesn't fail that we'll be in a showing or trying to write an offer, and the man just kind of looks at her like with a blank stare and goes, what do you think? And then we go from there. Entonces, ¿Quiere que lo diga en español?
Sí, por
Ok.
favor.
Entonces la pregunta fue, ¿cómo puede ser un poquito más difícil si son los hombres o las mujeres que toman la decisión final? En mi experiencia personal, han sido las mujeres, porque son bien específicas, que si quiere este tipo de cocina o lo que sea, tienen sus requisitos. Pero pues claro, hay hombres también que saben lo que quieren. Si necesitan un garaje de 2 carros, no te van a ver una casa así, ¿no? Pero en mi experiencia personal ha sido las mujeres que casi siempre toman la decisión final.
Wow, increíble. And you know, one thing about real estate agents that I have so many friends, obviously, that like you guys, they are real estate agents, and sometimes you gotta go to houses, and you got this client. At some point, you're gonna have that client that say like, you know what, I am not gonna buy any house, and you just feel like I waste my time just you know does that ever happen to you?
It happens a lot, and I used to have that mindset of, oh, it was a waste of time, but it's not. It's a great experience, because every time I go into a new house with a new person, I learn to critique my communication skills. I get to see what's out there, and a lot of times I'll show a house, like I would show you a house, and I'm like, oh, this was not a good fit for you, and then I'm like, but oh, I know somebody it is a great fit for, and so I can bring somebody else in. So it's never really a waste of time. It's all about your perspective on how you look at it. And I love showing houses. I love walking into new places and seeing new things. So I just look at it as positive.
Awesome. And we just got the first question from the audience. Hey, if you have any questions, si usted tiene cualquier pregunta, por favor, you can call us or text us al 833-752-1925. But before we jump into this question, I want to say that you know, that's pretty cool what Susan just said. It's like keep developing and working on your communication skills and take the positive out of your waste of time, you know. But my question actually is, what are good communication skills look like? You know, what are a good set of communication skills for a real estate agent?
Okay. Do you want me to answer, or do you want to answer?
Either, both.
Okay. So I think a good communication skills is I will learn to adapt to the person. So I'm somewhat of a chameleon, and it doesn't matter where I go and who I speak to. It could be a very educated, wealthy person, or it could be, you know, middle class. It doesn't matter. And I feel like I can just speak to them, and I think that's my best communication, is learning to talk to different people from different skill sets, different cultures, different financial, and, you know, learning to build that communication. I think that's where I come from.
I agree completely. Entonces la pregunta fue, ¿cómo es la comunicación mejor en lo que es bienes raíces? Entonces lo que dijo Susan, que yo también pienso lo mismo, es que uno tiene que ser flexible y adaptarse a la persona. Entonces a veces una persona quiere muchísima información, bastante comunicación seguida, uno se adapta. A veces las personas son un poco más relajadas, entonces uno se tiene que adaptar a cómo es el cliente.
It's like this saying that said, being able to read the room to set the tone. You know what I mean? So being able, what is it that your client was their way of communicate? They want interaction every day, follow-ups and all that. Or are they more distant? Do they like phone calls or do they like messaging? Do they prefer an email? So kind of like reading the room for them, you know, in order for us as agents to set the tone.
Yes.
That's a very interesting point, because some people they love text messaging. I'm telling you, I even have clients like that, and sometimes I'm like, I am driving. Tú sabes, I can text right now, and you know what, people like that. To me, I don't know, it doesn't make sense, because it's like talking on the phone is the voice messaging. It's like, hey, I am here, and then, well, maybe we can get this later, and I was like, we're just talking on the phone, you know. It's I don't know, it's kind of like, but people are different.
It's interesting. We all have so many different ways to communicate, to receive information, to perceive it, to process. Some people, they like just a phone call. I'm very quick with phone calls, but I understand that friends or co-workers or everything, they will prefer an email or a text message in a way they can go back to the information that I just say. So it's kind of like knowing how the other person communicates, so you can adapt, and at some point they will adapt to you as well.
And there's that fine line of being a salesperson. You don't want to be that over pushy, like I'm really trying to pressure sell you in, and then you don't want to be that like I don't really
I don't
care if
care,
you buy
yeah.
this. You know, there's that like right in the middle that you've got to figure out with each person.
Nah, eso es importante lo que estamos hablando con Susan. Si te ha pasado eso de que te has encontrado con alguien de que te ha retado en el sentido de que it challenged you as a seller, you know, as a real estate agent, like not being too pushy, but not being too light about following up, te has sentido que te ha retado en ese momento. ¿Algún cliente?
Sí, definitivamente hay clientes que, como expliqué anteriormente, necesitan bastante seguimiento, quieren más información, una montaña de información. Yo estoy feliz de probarle cualquier información que quiere. Y hay gente que es un poco menos, entonces uno tiene que ver. El seguimiento es muy importante. Yo prefiero, y bastante de los agentes creo, prefieren sobrecomunicarse en vez de lo opuesto, ¿verdad?
Correcto.
Porque después das la experiencia como que no te importa o no estás siguiendo lo importante que estás siguiendo.
Awesome. Well, and now we are going to read the question that we have from the audience. And this question is brought to you by USA Insurance Agency. Our car insurance for commercial and personal car insurance, they are coming from Tampa, serving the entire state of Florida. En esta vida no hay nada seguro, pero lo que sí te podemos asegurar es tu auto personal y comercial, así como tu negocio. Llámanos al 305-515-5300. Somos USA Insurance Agency, al servicio de todo el estado de la Florida. Keep it up, baby. You know, having fun here with our commercials. And well, this question is, what is the lowest interest rate that it is offering right now in the market?
That's an open-handed question. It's kind of like saying, how much is a bag of groceries at Publix, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to give you a round answer. Right now, the average market for a 15-year mortgage is 6.1. 30 years is a 7.1. Now, all that is based on your credit score. So if you've been a good boy and you've paid your bills like you're supposed to, you'll get the lower, closer to the 6.1. But every other thing is a factor in that, and then those can go up. But there's also buy downs. So you can buy down those points, and most people right now, it is 1% of the purchase price. So $200,000, you can buy your point down for $2,000. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Okay.
Si nos pudiera explicar esto en español, sí.
Entonces la pregunta fue como cuánto está el interés ahora. Entonces ella explicó como en 15 años usted puede conseguir un interés como en 6.1 y a 30 años se puede hacer como 7.1. Pero lo que es cosas de hipoteca, todo eso es personal, porque dependen, en el crédito es súper importante, es lo más importante, pero también las deudas y otros factores. Entonces no es un número que se puede aplicar al consumidor, sino uno tiene que ver con un profesional de hipotecas y hablar, y ellos le van a dar asesorar mejor.
Súper. Bueno, esperamos que hayamos respondido la pregunta. We hope that we answer your question. You have any more questions, feel free to text us. We have so many outlets that you can reach out to us, including our app, including our WhatsApp, Messenger, Facebook, Instagram, you know, all over. Just send your questions today, right now or after the show, and we can get it to Ravel Realty Group. Let's talk about rentals, because you guys also do property management, right?
We do.
Yeah, I know you have a specific department for it, and all of that.
Right.
But we would love to talk about rentals versus, getting a house, obtaining a house, which is an asset for you. And we've been talking about that here. How K&R and Ravel Realty Group work on property management, and let's talk about the market of renting a house, if you don't mind.
Okay. So I don't do property management, so I don't really have a lot of information about the company specifically. But they do manage property. They do monthly, like twice a year, they go in and they actually physically walk into the property and check it, that kind of stuff. But I will tell you, as a renter yourself, if you are going to stay in an area for more than, I'd say, 3 to 5 years, you have a long-term plan, I would not rent. I would buy. If you're going to only be here for the University of Florida for a year, you're coming in, I would rent.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
That's a very good point.
Yeah, the rental market, it's going up. The prices on rents are only going up. They are projected to continue to go up. There's no going down in rental prices, but they do project houses going down.
And I agree with Susan 100%. I have seen that, like, my mom the other day went and it was like $1,300, and I was like, that's a mortgage what you're paying.
It is a mortgage payment.
So I think, I mean, do you think
have your mom call me? I'll get her in a house.
But you know what? It also depends, as we were talking early, of the age. I feel like there is a rental market depending on age. I was reading an article the other day, like especially for millennials. We are people that we like to move around. We are not sure if we're going to stay here for 2 years, and then I might end up in California. So there is a market for that generation.
Yes.
And it's very high. I was looking at the statistics, and most of millennials, they rent just because of that factor. They don't know where life is going to be. And as you were saying, I mean, if you are planning to stay here, if you're planning to form a family, if you have a kid coming up, you know, and stuff like that, of course, buy.
Right.
But if not, there are some other options as well, more than buying.
Yes.
And it was very, very interesting because it was very demographic, as you mentioned. It also depends on age. People between, I don't know, 25 to 40 or maybe a little bit less, they are on that market of renting just because of that. They don't know where life
and
is.
And the older market is actually going back to renting because they don't want all the upkeep of a house. They don't need a big house.
Exactly.
They need just a simple 2-bedroom, 1-bath home with no yard. And so they are perfectly happy with a rental.
Entonces, si tú crees que estos precios que están subiendo ahora en las rentas van a empujar un poquito a las personas a que ya de una vez cómprate la casa, porque ya de todas maneras, ¿para qué vas a gastar ese dineral que es casi una hipoteca? ¿Qué piensas?
Sí, definitivamente, porque casi siempre, bueno, especialmente en Gainesville, el mercado de renta está subiendo bastante y hay casi como una crisis lo que está pasando. Entonces, ¿para qué pagarle la hipoteca a una otra persona si tú puedes pagar tu propia hipoteca? O puedes comprar más o menos por el mismo precio de renta, o aunque sea un poquito más que tu renta, estás poniendo a una inversión que va a ser tuya y ya sabes lo que va a ser tu pago mensual. Cuando estás rentando, te pueden subir la renta $100, $500. Yo he oído números muy, muy elevados. Entonces, es peace of mind, seguridad de que ya sabes lo que va a ser tu pago el próximo mes, el próximo año, etcétera. Y después, si decidas mudarte, vendes la propiedad o la puedes rentar.
Correcto.
¿Has visto que nosotros los latinos tendemos a rentar o a comprar en tu experiencia?
La mayoría de nosotros he visto que rentamos. Creo que hay como un temor de lo que es comprar y de lo que involucra eso. Por eso es muy importante hablar con un agente, por lo menos tener una sesión de preguntas, hablar con otra persona de hipoteca, tener como una sesión para que sepas que estés bien informado, porque queremos que tengas más información de lo que necesitas y sepas que un agente, especialmente como yo o Susan, va a estar contigo cada minuto de lo que es necesario. Y si me puedes mandar un texto, llamar, es una compra grandísima, sino la compra más grande de la vida de una persona, y aquí estamos para ayudarte con eso.
Super. One of the things that we're mentioning, Susan, is that Latin people tend to rent because they're afraid that they're not going to have the money to pay the mortgage, which is the same thing. I mean, if you don't have the money to pay the rent, you are going out anyways.
Correct.
And
quicker.
And your credit score is going to be damaged regardless.
Right.
So, very interesting. Tomorrow, we're going to have here Waldemar from Elite Mortgage Group to talk about, the interest rates and kind of like to give a brief lecture about all the process of getting a mortgage. And, it's someone that we trust, and he's very knowledgeable, over 15 years of experience. So this interest rate topic is very, very hot.
we always say that you're going to be paying somebody's mortgage, it might as well be yours.
Exactly. O sea, en vez de trabajar en los sueños o la hipoteca de otra persona, mejor te lo pagas a ti mismo. Hablemos un momentico de por qué la casa es una inversión. Yo creo que la comunidad latina no entendemos eso muy bien. ¿Por qué la casa es un asset? Why your house is an asset instead of an expense. Y yo creo que eso mucho como que nos is holding us back, the Latin community, to buy more and invest more in what is proper investment. ¿Qué me puedes decir de eso?
Completamente. Sí, bueno, de todas maneras, uno necesita donde vivir. Entonces, la respuesta más obvia es, si vas a pagar renta, ¿por qué pagar la renta a otra persona? Ya sabes que te pueden subir a cualquier momento, o no puedes tener perro, o a lo mejor no puedes tener otra persona que se puede quedar contigo, si es una familia. Si tú compras, tú vas a ser tu propio dueño, you're going to be your own boss, esencialmente, y ese dinero va a seguir creciendo poco a poco, porque los valores de las propiedades van subiendo, aunque sea un poquito, aunque baje, como sea lo que va al mercado, va a ser mucho más estable de lo que es el mercado de renta. Y eso con tiempo va a seguir subiendo en valor. Cuando tú no quieres esa propiedad, o la vendes o la rentas, y como conocemos, las rentas están subiendo. Entonces tú vas a poder hacer dinero en alguien pagar tu hipoteca también.
Awesome. What do you think about that, Susan?
I got about 7 of those words. I've got Paquito. I got La Familia. I've got those. Yeah, no.
Susan was like,
yeah. So yes. No, but little by little, I think the Latin community is going to come in, and I kind of disagree, because I know many Latin-based families here in town that have been here for generations, and they all own.
Yeah.
And so I actually have a family right now that their family has been in Gainesville since the 1970s, and we're actually selling their house. So if you know anybody who wants to buy a beautiful house, we have one for sale that it is.
Oh wow! How much?
$469.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah. It's got the beautiful Spanish tile in the kitchen. It's already ready for a perfect family.
oh, how beautiful.
I see Raver Realty Group around my neighborhood. Beautiful houses. Some beautiful houses that actually you just closed one beautiful house there that the sign is going down when it's sold.
Definitely.
We try to keep that sign up as long as possible, so don't be deterred when you see the sign sitting there for a long period. We're waiting for the sell date.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's bad luck to take the sign down early.
I agree.
Yeah. Jinx you.
I would take it off like the day of or the day after.
Exactly. Yeah. When you're secure about it.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Once you have the keys.
Exactly.
Definitely.
And very good topic.
Yeah.
When that doesn't happen to you, like the house is sold, and last minute something happened, the couple got divorced, oh my goodness, and this is not happening, you gotta go backwards. Like
I had a friend, he told me once his experience related with that. Everything was perfect, and the day of the closing, the couple show up, and the person was like, I don't think we're gonna sign this paper because last night we have a huge fight. Right now I don't know what's gonna happen with my marriage, so we're not selling the house. On the closing day, my friend was
in the parking lot crying.
Right. He was like, I left there and I almost cried for the first time in my whole years. Let's say he's a 65 years old guy by now. So he was like, in my old years practicing real estate, that was the first time that it was so painful and unbelievable. Like the day of the closing, showing up, attorney, everyone.
Buying
and he
the
was
house
like, I
is
cannot.
so emotional. People don't think that it is.
Yeah,
but you really, because you start seeing yourself in that home, and you're just like, I can see us here. I can see us having children playing in the backyard with a dog or something. And you start visualizing yourself. So it is. I would imagine you'd be heartbroken if you're at the very last second. You're like,
absolutely.
No, you're not getting this.
Right. Yeah.
¿En tu experiencia si te ha pasado eso?
Bueno, no, la pregunta fue que el día de cierre.
O el día de cierre o ya casi para cerrar la casa, que alguien te diga, oye, ¿sabes qué? Vamos a echar todo para atrás porque tuvimos un problema entre pareja, o tuvimos una discusión, o alguien más se está metiendo en nuestros assets de la familia, y hay algo con nuestro dinero que no está bien, y entonces echan todo el negocio para atrás. ¿Te ha sucedido?
Eso me ha pasado, puede ser o con financiamiento o algo de familia, o inclusive puede ser que la persona hasta tuvo un sueño. Yo he escuchado una historia que la persona tuvo como una pesadilla y canceló. Entonces uno como agente ya entras en esta carrera que ya conoces las cosas que pueden pasar. O sea, enseñarle a alguien 20 casas y decidan no comprar, o te cancelan el procedimiento a ese momento, pero uno tiene que entender que es algo muy personal para la persona y tienes que hacer lo mejor para el cliente.
Exactamente, qué maravilla. Susan, in your years, in your experience, a client, sometimes Latin people, especially Latin people, we tend to spend money during the buying process. You know,
Yes, it
right?
is.
That's a classic, right?
Right.
Like let's say we go to Beneautos, we go to
Get a new car,
to
a
get
new
a new
phone,
car,
a new laptop.
Yeah. And so in that, it is actually affecting the credit score as we go with the process.
Exactly.
What can you tell me about that?
Don't buy anything expensive. Do not open up a new credit card. Don't go to Dillard's and be sucked in by that. Hey, we're going to give you 25% off if you open a card. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've had many people who they're the big dreamers, right? They're like, we're going to do this and we're going to do that and we're going to go buy the new couch, and don't do it. Hold it off.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wait.
And I feel like if you have your goals set up, I also went through a very good friend of mine. She was in the process of getting a house, but she was done with her job. You know what I mean? She wanted to leave, but she was in that process, so she couldn't. I literally lived all those months with her, and she was like, I cannot wait for it to be done. And she explained it to me. She was like, just because I'm on this process, I cannot leave my job. And yeah, she ended up staying there, you know, for the rest of the month until the house, like, she got it. We even have like a big celebration on that day because she was very excited, and that was a little bit frustrating because she couldn't change her job, but she had it clear. Like, the real estate agent that was kind of like guiding her, she literally said that don't open any credit card, don't buy anything, don't move from your job, like, just be steady until we finish this.
Exactly. Yeah. Don't leave your job, definitely.
Exactly.
And they do check. They check like
Definitely.
right before your lesson.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, most people are like, they're not going to check.
They
check.
They do. Sí, sí, en tu experiencia, ¿eso te ha pasado? De que, pues, como estaba diciéndole a Susan, los latinos van y compramos cosas que son muy caras y cuesta mucho dinero durante el proceso de compra de la casa, y por ende eso va a afectar cómo va a terminar, ¿no? La compra de la casa. ¿Te ha pasado eso?
Bueno, sí, a mí sí me ha pasado, pero yo desde el comienzo y con el seguimiento yo les recuerdo, no compren cosas caras, no hagan depósitos o withdrawals de grande cantidad, no abren crédito, no co-signing. Entonces, entre yo y la persona que le está ayudando con la hipoteca, ¿verdad? Si están usando hipoteca, nos mantenemos kind of like babysitting, siguiendo encima de ellos. Por ejemplo, también si alguien le va a ayudar con el depósito, si un pariente, un padre le va a ayudar con el depósito, es muy importante que ese depósito se haga de una manera muy específica para que pueda ser aceptado, porque si no, a lo mejor no te aceptan esa ayuda y después terminas que no puedes comprar esa casa porque los números no salen bien.
Interesante. And you know what, not to blame on our community on the things that they do that is not right, but it's just about the misinformation that they have. So this type of stuff is good because and every real estate agent kind of like their professionalism to walk them through it, to let them know about it, to teach them about it, because so many, especially in our community, if you're coming from a country that is super damaged, that things used to be a little bit different, you know, you get here and it's a little bit overwhelmed with everything that you have to follow and do. So they don't have that information. They do it because they don't know how to do it. So,
It's not only different countries. I mean, it's completely different the way they do real estate in California or in New York versus Florida. We all do everything very different.
Definitely.
And for example, Cubans, I am people that know me know I am Cuban, and Cubans we tend to come here, and we know the Cuban or our Cuban country is really poor, and you start seeing things like, I'll get this because I never had anything, I should get everything. No, you shouldn't. You know, you actually should prioritize your things. Having your house, your roof under your family, it should be number one, I guess. Y una cosa que quería hablar, very important. Let's talk about predictions. There is a lot of speculation about.
Let me get my crystal ball.
We left our crystal ball.
All right. Well, and then we can have some music for you. Predictions for the recession, the real estate recession. That's what they are calling it. I'll be honest, I watch Grant Cardone, I watch all these people, like investors, that they are talking a lot. Si usted no conoce Grant Cardone, if you don't know Grant Cardone or all these people, you can go to YouTube. They're going to be a click away because they're all over the place. Talking about a real estate recession and about pricing like either dropping or going, skyrocketing. What can you tell me about that in your experience, Susan? Is this actually happening and the numbers looks like that?
It may happen in other parts of the country, but Alachua County, and especially Gainesville, we are so based around the University of Florida, and as long as professors are going to come here to teach and students are coming here to learn, we're not going to be in a recession here. We're kind of in our own little bubble, and so I don't see us having big price drops. I don't foresee a lot of foreclosures. I think that we're going to stay pretty much stable where we are. We are 2.5 months in for inventory. I have more buyers call than sellers, yes. But we still have sellers calling every day.
Nice.
No crystal ball needed.
No crystal ball.
No.
Yeah.
Sí, básicamente se quería explicar un poquitico la pregunta que le hice a Susan. Sí.
Sí, entonces la pregunta fue de cómo se ve el mercado, que si vamos a entrar en un recession.
Sí, una recesión.
Una recesión. Entonces, en Gainesville, especialmente en el condado de Alachua, estamos como protegidos. Ella dijo como en un bubble,
sí,
¿verdad? Porque la Universidad de la Florida es tan importante aquí que trae tantos estudiantes, profesores, bastantes carreras y sigue creciendo. Entonces, la gente todavía sigue yendo a Gainesville. Entonces, Gainesville está bien seguro en ese sentido, que va a seguir creciendo y todavía hay esa necesidad. Entonces, aquí el mercado se está normalizando, no vemos nada que dice que estamos en peligro para una recesión.
Super, that's good news.
Yes.
Good news. So, anything else that you would like to share with the community regarding, becoming part of your awesome team? What can they do? How can they reach out in case somebody's listening or somebody is gonna watch this later on YouTube or on Facebook, and they wanna become a real estate agent, or they wanna rent or buy or sell? How can they reach out?
Well, I will say that you just call me. I mean, if you have a question, call me, text me. I don't have to sell you a house. I can just answer your question for you.
Correct.
I mean, let's just become buddies. Let's become friends, and then you get to know me. And then when you are ready to buy a house, I'll be here waiting for you.
That is
and
awesome.
then, since Cece is one of our best recruits, I think at Rebel, I think she should talk about the recruiting.
Okay, that works. Bueno, entonces en español su pregunta fue si alguien que le interesa entrar en esta carrera o qué es lo que necesitan saber. Entonces, yo específicamente hice bastante, ¿cómo se dice? Research, ¿verdad? Entonces, búsqueda de diferentes agencias, y tuve una libreta así de preguntas y cosas que aprendía. Entonces, en cuanto conocí a Rebel, como ya le había dicho anteriormente, me sentí bien, como en parte en familia, y no había una presión como tienes que ser agente ahora, tienes que empezar ahora. Fue bien natural, como que si estás lista, que si uno solo quiere platicar, que si solo estás curioso del procedimiento, la puerta siempre está abierta. Entonces, como dijo Susan, si uno tiene pregunta o solo curioso, le llama a ella, me llama a mí. A nosotros nos fascina hablar de bienes raíces, nos fascina enseñar casas. Entonces, usted no nos está molestando si solo quiere hacer unas preguntas, y podemos hacer una conexión, y poco a poco, cuando usted esté listo a comprar o vender, ya se puede empezar ese procedimiento.
Awesome. I understand that they can go to buysellrebel.com, right?
Absolutely.
Awesome. I know that website really well. Awesome.
Yeah. So, we're like third-generation real estate agents. Kristen's father and grandfather both came from Cuba. They were both Paco was a real estate agent in Cuba. So, we're just trying to carry on that beautiful family tradition of selling houses and making people happy.
Nice. That's what I'm talking about. Well, now you want to become a real estate agent. You are looking to actually, begin this wonderful journey of helping people to get their dream home. You can go to buysellrebel.com and they will help you out for sure to accomplish that dream. So, si lo que estás buscando es convertirte en un agente de real estate, pues ya usted sabe, tienen personas que hablan full Spanish, tienen personas que tienen muchísima experiencia, diferentes edades, tienen tremendo equipo. How many of you guys? How many total? Because I see a large group of you. How many is the team?
25?
About 25.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
25 entre agentes y personas que trabajan en la oficina y demás. Así que ahí lo tienes, buysellrebel.com. Así, esa es la traducción, ¿verdad?
Sí.
buysellrebel.com.
Sí. No hay traducción otra.
Así mismo. ¿Algún mensajito para nuestra comunidad latina que le quisieras dejar? Sí.
Sí, definitivamente. Primero, otra vez, gracias por tenernos hoy aquí en su show, que siempre es muy divertido. Yo quiero que la comunidad latina sepa que es muy, sí se puede comprar, que no le tengan temor. lo peor que pueden hacer es llamarme a mí o conectarse con Susan o cualquier otro gente y hacernos preguntas. Cuando usted tenga más información y esté listo, nosotros vamos a estar ahí en cada etapa. Entonces, que no se siente como que hay presión o que no puede. Siempre va a ser una inversión muy inteligente. ¿Cuántos millonarios o historias no se conoce de que empiezan con bienes raíces? Entonces, eso es algo que uno tiene que saber que sí se puede y aquí estamos para ayudarle.
Super.
Actually, fun fact, most millionaires in this country, they come from real estate background. That's it. It's not even tech. Some people think it's tech, in Silicon Valley. Not even that. It's real estate.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
That is the best investment you can ever make with your money is real estate.
Yes.
That is awesome. Well, once again, Susan, thank you very much.
Thank you.
It was exciting having you.
Yes.
First time ever.
Yes.
We broke the ice.
Yeah, very great conversation.
Yeah,
Yes.
and thank you, Cici, as well for helping our Latin community through Ravel Realty Group. And thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for being here. For those who are watching on Facebook, on YouTube, those who are listening on 97.3 HD2, we are 24/7. Stay right there. We have the Basilón del Mediodía coming at right now, noon until 2 p.m. We also have Hangueo con Tommy Ponce at 3 to 6. We have 6 sport show. We have our 7. We have the mental health show. And then we have a 9, the romantic music time. Así que, ya tú sabes, ya. Uy, la,
To
la.
go to bed, babe.
Oh, yeah. Así que, mi gente, gracias por estar aquí con nosotros. Este fue un segmento con Ravel Realty Group. Así que le damos las gracias. Quédate con nosotros. Y usted ha estado disfrutando lo que se llama, Maffer, el show
de la mañana.
Thank you, Susan. Sí, thank you.
Escuchas el show de la mañana con Helio Piedra y la bandida por Tu Fiesta Radio. De lunes a viernes de 6 a 10 de la mañana en el 97.3 HD2. Tu Fiesta Radio.
I'm like sweating. Really? Yeah, I'm like thirsty. I was a little bit nervous. Yes. Yes. I didn't know it was